Hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adam. I'm Head of Marketing here, and I'd like to welcome you all to this ISM webinar. I know you'll get plenty of practical advice from today's session, which you can start applying to your own role straight away. This webinar, once delivered, will be made available on demand, so you can watch it as many times as you like and at your own convenience. During the webinar, you'll be able to ask any questions you like by typing them into the boxes above. We'll answer any of these questions at the end of the webinar. Please also take a few moments of your time to have a look through the attachments we've provided, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, to introduce our presenter today, Sarah is regarded as the LinkedIn lead generation expert. Brands such as Suez and Rexel through to solopreneurs chose Sarah to equip them to leverage the power of LinkedIn. Also an award-winning marketer, Sarah is asked to speak worldwide on LinkedIn and lead generation. She devised the LinkedIn curriculum for SO and ME, the Social Media Academy, and is featured expert on LinkedIn for global brand Sage. She was recently an invited expert at the LinkedIn Business Growth Bootcamp. With 10 years experience under her belt in all that's LinkedIn, she's launched Prospect Booster, a LinkedIn lead generation that's done for service that is popular with B2B organizations. I thought it was easy to read that off, but it wasn't. Now to introduce Sarah. Thank you very much for your time today, Sarah. Sarah will be the next voice you hear, and it's a goodbye for me. Sarah, over to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Adam, and welcome everyone to this information and practical insights-packed agenda, which is all about leveraging LinkedIn to find your ideal prospects. So our success agenda today, what I'm going to share with you are, first of all, the key facts, very importantly, why LinkedIn and why now, the 23 filters within LinkedIn that instantly pinpoint your prospects. That for me is the diamond moment of when, even if someone wasn't switched on to LinkedIn before, they are when they see those kinds of results. Thirdly, the one action that alerts you to new prospects, even without a lead database. The 2 phrases in your sales team profiles that kill prospect conversations stone dead. This is a wake-up call for many. The 2 approaches to credibly grow your audience of prospects and referrers. The 1 power play that attracts rather than repels your prospects. And last but by no means least, Q&A. Also, as well for attending, there are a number of bonuses I know that you've kindly, Adam, already put into the downloads. And that's a free Boolean logic cheat sheet. I'm going to cover Boolean logic for you as well. That is also a game changer, not just on LinkedIn, but in all of your use of the web. And I've also made for you an avatar mapper, and this is to help you to profile your ideal prospects. So does that sound like hopefully a good agenda for you? So I'm just thinking I can now move the slide forward, I imagine. Yeah, brilliant. So why LinkedIn and why now? The fact that you are on this webinar with me, and thank you for joining me, is obviously showing an interest quite rightly in the whole platform. So let's look at some stats. Okay, let's move forward with that. So LinkedIn now is close to the 600 million member level, and it's the world's #1 B2B social platform. It has and this is a biggie I'm going to share with you because I'm going live into LinkedIn shortly, and I'm going to share with you why this is such a biggie. But 25 million LinkedIn profiles are viewed every day. And again, when I saw this stat, this is from Serious Decisions, this stat was a real wake-up call for me. 67% of their decision-making is made before they contact a sales rep. So all of that work that you're putting into your sales team is absolutely vital. Let's make no bones about it. But if we don't get our social selling right, and social selling merely means your presence and your activity on social media, your sales teams never even get the chance to do their job. So this is, and obviously with LinkedIn being the number one platform for business, this is why we need to get it right. Another stat here, and I'm going to cover more shortly about how we can make this work for us, is that 74% of buyers choose the sales rep that was the first to add value and insight. So I'm sure we've all heard the famous adage about don't tell me you're funny, make me laugh. And what we want to do with our LinkedIn presence is really understand how corporately and individually, so whether it's your business brand or your personal brand, LinkedIn can work for you in adding that value and insight so that you build that know, like, trust factor, and you don't even necessarily need to do an ask, because LinkedIn will bring that audience to you and it will bring them to you more ready to buy. Okay, so those were just some stats. I have many, many more, but what I wanted to do was very unusually for ISM. I think this might be the first of its kind. I'd like to...
It is.
Yes, thank you, Adam.
I'd
like to thank you for your bravery in agreeing to do this, Adam. I'd like to dispense with PowerPoint and actually just take you live into LinkedIn to show you behind the scenes and to show you some key insights. And this is all happening in real time. So well done on the ISM's bravery for agreeing to do this. So the first element that I said I'd share with you are those filters within LinkedIn that allow you to instantly pinpoint your prospects. So let me just go to, I'm just going to select the right
so you select screen share.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just selected screen share so I can show you. It's just registering. Okay, and okay, so hopefully
it should come up.
Yeah, okay. It says that I have it. It's been added to Chrome. And I'm just looking at what I now need to do to, if I press screen share again.
Yep.
And so, right. Okay, so I want to select my entire screen. Brilliant.
There you go.
So hopefully...
Yep, we can see it.
Yay! Success. Okay. Hurrah!
Right.
So what I'm going to do, first of all, is just... here's one I did earlier, True Blue Peter style. I've gone into a part of LinkedIn that's called Sales Navigator. So let me just go to my normal LinkedIn screen. Here's my LinkedIn profile. Let's just remove that there. And I'm just going to go into Sales Navigator. And this is a bolt-on. It's a type of membership that you can buy from LinkedIn. And it's the only membership that I recommend for anyone really seriously interested in business development. Sales Navigator itself is a huge platform within the big platform that's LinkedIn. I'm not going to touch on all of the different facets of it today. I'm just going to show you one or two key elements of it. And the element I'm going to show you is the advanced search. So I'm going to go to search for leads. And this is the types of filters that LinkedIn equips you to pinpoint your prospects with laser accuracy. Now, as part of the guide that I've produced for ISM and the people on this webinar, I've given a whole guide that looks into more detail at the types of individual cells that are in here. But what I'm going to do is just have a look for, just to give a case study of how it might work for you. So what I've done here is job title is a key way of searching on LinkedIn. And so I'm adding in, there's something called a Boolean logic. Oops, don't want that one. Do you want to add in this here? Let me just find that Boolean string. And Boolean logic is a way of using phrases to find your ideal prospects. This is part of one of your free downloads that I've made for you. And so I'm just going to select from that a string. And we can see, for example, if you want to target a business owner, then can you just check in? You can see that from your side. You can see that there's a Word document that I'm highlighting there, Adam.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, brilliant. So I'm just taking this string out of the document here. And I'm going back to Sales Navigator. Let me just go in here. And I'm going to paste that in. It's got it there. Okay. And what Boolean logic does, it enables us to do very, very filtered, defined searches. So if I'd have just pasted in or typed managing space director, LinkedIn will look for anything that contains the words managing or director. So by putting this very specific instruction in, for example, managing plus director, it's only finding that specific phrase. Now, this is the power of LinkedIn. We put in managing director or MD or founder or co-founder or business owner, and it's saying to me on the whole of LinkedIn, there are 16 million of those members with that job title currently enrolled. So, for example, if you were in the UK, because to be fair, 16 million isn't that helpful, what do you do with it? But you can then add geography, you can add within 10 miles of a post or zip code. So, for example, I'm mainly based in Birmingham. So if we put in United Kingdom, and we put in, say, 35 miles of Birmingham, and let's just add that in there. And we should within 35 miles of B56E2. It's now given 73,000 results. So let's make it even narrower. So bear in mind that we can filter within 10 miles. Now let's try and reload that. Here we go. So we can now see within 10 miles of a specific postcode. Let's just see what happens if we put in managing director only. And then we pick up a prompt from LinkedIn here. So we have 7,648 MDs within 10 miles. We can also add a number of cells in there, such as other filters, such as company size. So I'm sure for many people, they have specific types of company sizes that they would like to target. So if we think they might be larger companies, we can add in company headcount. Let's say anyone above 200. So anyone that has more than 200 employees. And we've now got down to 846. So let's have a look at what those results have given us. Just wait for that to load. Okay. So this is the level of insight and resource that we have with LinkedIn. We've got 846 results. It's giving me the people usually that I'm first degree connected with. But you can then see all of these different individual LinkedIn members that we get so much market intelligence and market data on. So for example, if I click into James's profile here, I can find out so much about James. I can see who we've got in common. I can get a referral into James. I can get a really good insight into who he is as a person, what his likely buyer personality is. We've got contact details. He's very helpfully added, obviously, because he's in recruitment as well. So there's lots and lots of insight and then ways to get that market intelligence that I can then decide, right, how am I going to best reach out to James? What we also have are lots of the functions within Sales Navigator that we can save that profile, we can add notes, and LinkedIn, the Sales Navigator has its own little form of CRM. So these are all really good features that if sales teams aren't using them that are targeting a business audience, they really need to start. So let's go back to the list that we've just found. And let's just wait for that to
We've had a flurry of questions coming through as well.
Oh, that's great.
So we'll answer those at the end.
Keep them coming.
One of them was a little bit cheeky, but yes, we'll answer those at the end.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Cheeky ones are all right. So what we've got here then, so this is the search that we determined. And there are so many other, for example, keywords would be a really good cell to consider. What keywords might your audience have? So if you're in a specialist IT sector, your audience are probably going to have keywords that you can also add into as one of the filters. So what do we do with this list now then? So one of the first things that we can do in Sales Navigator is save the search. And then once you save the search, so you can start a little save search there. Oh, those are some of my other saved searches. But this particular search, we can save it there. And we can then work our way back through that list. You can't export a saved search list as it is in this way. So the next step with it is to invite the audience to connect. And there are lots of benefits to a connectivity strategy on LinkedIn. I'm just going to go through some of them for you now. So the first benefit is that birds that fly together buy together. So that if you're inviting your ideal prospects to connect with you, they bring their network with them. Another benefit of connectivity is that as soon as you're connected to someone on LinkedIn, you don't need to use expensive things like email, and you don't need to, whilst obviously you need to keep in with GDPR legislation, because LinkedIn is LinkedIn members have already signed up and to LinkedIn's GDPR compliance, you don't have to have the thing of, I've got to get someone's email address to email them, I've got to get this, that, and the other. You can message your LinkedIn connections without paying to message them. So there are lots of benefits to sending a message within LinkedIn. If I take you into I have, as you can see, a very active LinkedIn account, as you would expect from someone who does what I do. So these are all new connections or ideal connections or sales inquiries. The benefit also of having connections is that you can know when your prospects are online and then start an instant messaging type conversation with them. So I'm just going to show you how that works. So all of these people here are my connections that are all messaging me or new connections coming in. So can we see here that this profile has a green circle and this profile has a white circle within a green circle? This is an active status indicator. This means that Janine is live right this minute in her LinkedIn account. That symbol means that Tamar has got a push notification status set up on LinkedIn. So while she's not live in LinkedIn right now, she's getting alerts on her phone or her device that when I send her a message, that will also ping up as a further notification or alert. So the other reason of building your connection is that obviously LinkedIn, it is a networking tool. So the more relevant people that are in your network, the better. I'm just going to show you here, for example. I think this is, I'd preloaded this earlier. So this is a post that I did 3 days ago, and I'm going to come back to the content of this later on in the webinar. But I just wanted to show you that that's already had nearly 1,000 views from a relevant audience. So the more that your network grows with relevant first-degree connections, it brings all of that relevant audience closer to you as well. So that's what I wanted to just cover within the ability to instantly pinpoint your prospects. I'm just going back to that list. Oh God, I heard some noise from you, Adam. Was that, no? Sorry.
No, all good.
No, that's
Nothing
fine.
for me. No.
So what we do now, we're going back to this list as an example. We can also, once you've saved the list, you can manually go through and invite these people to connect. Using Sales Navigator, if you do that, it will take you around 45 to 60 minutes a day, because you need to work through the list individually, invite each person to connect with a personalized invitation. And then obviously you don't want to keep adding the same people to connect. Monitor who's connected. When you are manually inviting them to connect, you would then do no more than 20, 25 a day. If you do any more than that, LinkedIn will sort of start to monitor you and be concerned that you might be spamming its members. So that's 20, 25 invitations to connect a day, which will take about 45 minutes. Just a little note as well on a very practical level, this list changes in order. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do page 1 today, which would be a really good discipline to do, once you've loaded page 1, the next time you go into LinkedIn and you bring that saved search up, it changes the order. So you can't rely on it being page 1. You have to keep that note of who you've invited. We do have a done for you service where we do all of that for you at volume, but I'm not going to talk about that on this webinar. If anyone's interested, they can ask me about it separately. So what I'd like to now look at is, I promised to say about the one action that alerts you to new prospects even without a lead database. And I'm just going to go to a saved search here to show you that. So this is a search that I did earlier, for example. And this shows me that I've indicated that heads of inside sales and directors of inside sales are a really good audience for me in my business. And LinkedIn tells me when new people who match the avatar, my prospect avatar, when new people have moved jobs and have moved into a role that match my avatar, it tells me that info. And of course, the minute that someone has moved into a new role, what they will often look to do is to make changes and to make their mark in a new role, which can be a very good time to contact them. So that was the little tip that I wanted to share with you about the one action. Next on our success agenda are the 2 phrases in your sales team's profiles that kill prospect conversations stone dead. This is going to be a real shocker for many people on the webinar, especially when we have sales professionals. So I'm just going to share with you what that is. And the 2 phrases within the profile. So let's just go back to normal LinkedIn now. And let's just search for sales director. And we'll search for people that have got sales director in the role. Okay. So this is totally random. Let's just click on Charles. Now, what happens is that, and this might seem counterintuitive, however, if you have sales or business development in your role, even if that's what your role is, it will decrease your success on LinkedIn. And let me share with you why. What happens is people, as we all know, like to buy, they don't like to be sold to. And what that means is that when you're inviting your ideal prospects to connect on LinkedIn, if you have sales director or business development director or manager there, then, and further down in the role as well, what that can often mean is that you will not get the connectivity you could be getting. And the reason is that the people you're inviting to connect, they'll see that and they think he's going to try and sell to me, and I don't want that. A solution to that, also that is still authentic with the type of role, is, for example, to call yourself a client services director, if that is appropriate to your organisation. Because after all, what is sales about? Sales is about getting the right people to become clients and to offer a great service. So that is one way around it. And I'm sure there'll be lots of questions and comments on that part, because it's quite a radical approach to suggest that someone doesn't have sales or business development in that way in their role. Now, I'm just going to hop a little bit around the agenda, because whilst we're on this person's page, I said that I would share an approach to credibly grow your audience of prospects and referrers. This approach is the personal profile. At the end of the day, people buy from people. And as we've seen with the amount of LinkedIn profiles that are viewed daily, people are checking out LinkedIn when they're thinking about, they're using LinkedIn to find people that provide the services that they're seeking. LinkedIn is also optimized to be found on Google. So whatever you are typing into your personal summary and all of the different key aspects of your personal profile will all have a major bearing on you being found on LinkedIn, and very importantly, what people do when they find you. So a key learning that I always share with my clients is the TFD pyramid. And that is, who are our audience and what do we want them to think, feel and do as a result of our interaction with them. So, I don't know Charles, but there are some key facets of his profile that I would immediately change, like the more that we write in big paragraphs, the less anyone reads it. But I'm just going to share with you a couple of key insights about what is really important to put in one's LinkedIn profile. So if I go let me just go back to my profile here. There we go. So recognizable head and shoulders photograph, banner graphics, I've got some branding on there, but also key parts of the offer. Use of headline is incredibly important to be found by those seeking what you offer. And very importantly, it's this personal summary. The vast majority of LinkedIn profiles are read on mobile devices. So it's really important to write the profile so that it's suitable for a mobile device. And what I would invite the participants of this webinar to do is to actually view my profile on a mobile device and see how I've configured it to work. There are loads of little hidden assets in there which make it very readable on mobile devices. So I'm just aware of timing, so I'm just going to whip through. I've covered the two phrases that your sales team in sales teams profiles. The power play that I promised to share was that attracts rather than repels your prospects is very good quality content. And I'm just going to give you an example of some content now. I alluded to it earlier, and I'm just going to share with you what I've done and why, and what results that gets. So what we have here, it's called a long form post. So it's a status update that's issued on LinkedIn. And what I've done is made it, spaced it really well, used some symbols to create some visual appeal. When you are issuing a status update on LinkedIn, you don't have any formatting. So you have to use other features such as symbols, uppercase, lowercase, and so on to create some visual interest and also break the text up for the reader. It's called chunking in the digital marketing parlance. And so what I've done with this is I've done a status update here about could you be missing out on attracting followers on LinkedIn. And then I've put some very practical information. So it's saying if you want to make sure that everyone that views your profile also follows you automatically, and I've given the step-by-step guide here on how to do that. I've also attached a photograph with it that I've added a little bit of extra formatting to show the key point, and I've keyword loaded with relevant keywords the status update. Another tip for the audience is that, like Facebook, LinkedIn rewards you for keeping people on its platform and penalizes you for taking people away. So if you have an external link that you want to put, so if it's a link that you want to put on there that will take people out of the LinkedIn platform, it's best not to put it in here. It's best to put it in the first comment box. So if I go here,
just a quick reminder, just to keep an eye on the timing. We do have some questions as well.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's the power play that I wanted to share. So absolutely, Adam. I will now, I'm ready, and it's time for, let me just go back here to slides. It's now time for Q&A. Oh, sorry, I thought I had a Q&A.
Florian.
Oh, that's really good. So, yeah, can I, so what's the best, shall I just go through the questions now and start answering them?
Yeah, no, so I'll read them off and then you can...
yeah, of course.
First question was, what's the best CRM to connect to LinkedIn?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Well done, whoever asked that one. The only CRM that is that there is an API, so an immediate approved link is Salesforce. But it may not, Salesforce may not be the best CRM for you. There is a little mini CRM within Sales Navigator that you can potentially get other apps like Zapier to integrate with. So it's like a linking platform. I have to say the CRM question is one that comes up a lot, and there's not an easy answer to that one. But the only official one that integrates is Salesforce.
There was one that was quite interesting. Can LinkedIn, I think this was referring to when you're doing your filters, but can LinkedIn or does LinkedIn filter off the scammy profiles within LinkedIn? I'm assuming
there's a
lot of fake people out there pretending to be from said company, but they're not.
Yeah, I don't.
Sarah, are you there? I seem to have lost Sarah on that call. Just wait for her to come back. Sarah, are you there? Okay, unfortunately, it looks like we may have lost Sarah on the webinar. However, please see this last slide. If you do have any other questions or any queries, that's her full contact details. This webinar is fully recorded on demand when we finish, so you can watch this thing as many times as you like and at your own convenience. So please get in touch with her directly. Even though I've lost her on this, I'd like to thank her for her time today and the time of preparing this and with her team. And I hope to have her back again soon. But it's an awful shame we've lost her at the end. I think there's some kind of connectivity issue. But everyone, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this with us today. Remember to download any attachments and any links that Sarah has gratefully provided for us. And I look forward to welcoming you on the next webinar. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.